Hey everyone, greetings. How is everyone doing? Welcome back. Haven't been uploading any videos lately because I've been super busy, but here we got one for you today and a pretty special one. I got my friend Billy Jackson with me here. How you doing, Billy?
Yo, I'm doing good, Noam. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, good, good. I'm excited to show everyone kind of something you've been working on for the past few weeks, something I've been using to kind of optimize my lineups. So far, it's going pretty good, I would say. How would you say it's going?
Well, you tell me how it's going for you. For me, it's going really well. Yeah, I built this Sorare optimizer. Sure, a lot of you guys have heard about it because Noam, tweets out my stuff all the time or tweets out like pictures of my lineups.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's going really well for me.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, Billy has made an optimizer, and I've been starting using it for the past few weeks. It's really helped me. It saves time because I used to spend way too much time ch mixing and matching lineups to see what's the perfect one. And besides, it's just got good results. Like specifically, I've been starting to utilize it like for the past 2 or 3 weeks. Last week went pretty good. This week, it kind of helped me to understand that I should use Precious Ochua. And who wouldn't, who would think about using Precious Ochua in his lineup after he was out for
Not
two
me.
months? Yeah, and he gave me like close to 50 solar points, which was massive. I'll show you guys in a bit how my lineups looks this week. But Billy, maybe you can kind of tell maybe some people who are watching never heard about the optimizer. Maybe you can share some light on it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a stats professor, big data junkie, big NBA hoops junkie, and all the time, ever since I've been doing fantasy basketball, like what 12 years ago when I first started, I've always been about like building sheets to help me kind of use data to try to make me, be the best player I can in any fantasy sport I do. And I got really into So Rare. I tried it out. And I've been, one of the first things I thought is, like, how can I take like a data minded approach to it? And I used to do DFS way back in the day, probably like 7 years ago when it first got started. And there was this company, Roto Grinders. They're probably still around. I I don't really do DFS anymore for DraftKings and FanDuel. It became too time intensive to really do it seriously. And there's so many professionals in the field. But they used to have this, lineup optimizer on their website. And I used to use it all the time and I loved it. And I just, when I started to get into So Rare eventually, I thought like, oh, I should build something like this. Um, and I decided to build it and I started using it. And yeah, I started putting screenshots of it on Twitter and it started to become pretty popular.
Sounds good. And like it's really different, I suppose, because here you also have this L10 and the cap things you have to kind of use the equation. Like, how do you kind of get both? Like, because there's one thing is the projection, how good the player is going to do, but the other thing is
Mhm.
like relative to how big his cap is. So how do you kind of mix those?
Yeah. So, So Rare, I think So Rare is just such a brilliant game. It's so clean. When I played, and maybe I just didn't know. When I did you ever do FanDuel or DraftKings back in the day?
I used to like 3 or 4 years ago, I used to
Yeah.
play NBA FanDuel every single night.
Okay, yeah. So you know how like they have the salaries, like Giannis is like $10,800, right? Or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
You got a cap of 50,000. I have no idea how those salaries were chosen for the players. Do you know?
got no idea.
I have no idea either. It's never explained, at least. Maybe there's a
Yeah,
really simple algorithm behind it.
I
Um,
just I just knew that the better the player it is, it's going to be more expensive, pretty much.
right, exactly. But I have no idea what caused them to change and stuff. Maybe there is like an L10 or something built in behind that, but they never really communicated that, at least back when I played. And the L10 is just it's so simple, it's so clear. When you want to go for a guy, you kind of already know who has maybe been playing a lot in the last 10, who hasn't, who's going about to get new opportunities. Like we just saw last night, Marcus Smart twisted an ankle, Robert Williams hyperextended his knee. So we know those backups, they haven't been playing a lot the last 10 games. They're about to get a bunch of burn and become really good value plays for this upcoming
Right.
game week.
Right. Yeah, we just talked about Peyton Pritchard might be an upside play for this week
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Smart being out. Yeah, or Brogdon, could be
Yep.
interesting.
Derek White, yeah.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, and that's pretty cool. And like, how long have you been using the optimizer?
So I built it. I don't know when I first got into Sorare. Maybe sometime around game week, let's say 5 or 6 or something like that, is when I first jumped into it. And then I think it was around game week 15 that I probably had something up and running.
Okay, okay.
It might have been 14. Yeah, so it hasn't been that long. It's been what, 10 game weeks? So what's that, like 5 weeks of time? So it hasn't been a really large sample size, but I've done really well ever since I started building it and started using it, to be honest.
Did you posted this week the lineups?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. So I
Let's.
posted a video. Did you happen to see that? I made a
Oh,
video.
yeah, I did, but you didn't post a screenshot, right?
So I did like the next day. I went back the next day and I wrote the script. Made the
Yeah.
screenshot the next
Can
day.
can we check it out?
Yeah, oh my God. It is
Okay,
actually a
let me
fire
share my
lineup
screen.
too.
Let me share screen. Do you see my screen, right?
Yep, yep. So if you go into
Okay,
Twitter,
okay. Let's see. All right, so let's find you here. Here we go. So let's see. Was that it?
there it is.
Okay, there it is. So Kyrie was spot on. I
I
mean,
wasn't spot on. Kyrie blew away my projection.
no. Let me explain myself. I mean, Kyrie maybe you were short 35, 40 points in the projection. But
Yeah,
I mean spot on because here you pretty much you recommend people what 5 players they
right,
should
right,
use.
right.
And you got Kyrie in here, which is let me see. Let's see
He's the highest performing guy this week.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to see.
Yep.
So why high score? What the hell? Why is Jonas here? Let me refresh this. Let's see here. Okay. Is it better now? Here we go. It was just a glitch. So we got Kyrie at number one.
Hmm.
Kyrie number one, Luka number four. If we go here, we see we got Kyrie and Luka, pretty much good plays. And if we
Hmm.
go to outperformers, let's see. We got Kyrie. What else we got here? We got Precious. Um, oh, we got Mary. If I keep scrolling down, let's see. It's not in the top 10, 15, but we also
Oh,
got
yep,
Sims relatively pretty high.
yep. I bet Darius
Having,
Garland is pretty soon coming up too.
let's see, all of those low projection guys,
There he
right?
is. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but out of the high projection guys, meaning like high cap projection guys, I think is kind of one of the best, right? Because
Yeah,
it's a different thing when you have to project low cap players from high cap players to be
for sure.
outperformers.
Yep.
Yeah, it's you're almost always gonna see a majority of low cap players in the top here. All right, so yeah, so overall it was pretty good. I can tell you guys that when I use the projection, you can also filter it. Billy will show you in a second. But like for example, if I don't want to use Miles Turner or Jericho Sims, then I can press no next to their name or just the letter N, and then it's gonna show me the next man up. So that's what I did, and the next man up was Precious Achua in my case. So I actually used Precious Achua because of the optimizer this week, and look how it's going for me. So I used Garland and Luca in his advice. I used Achua because of the optimizer, and Poole and Mary I used because I saw them high in his projections, and I didn't have the other players that. So I didn't have Kyrie in my lineup, so I didn't want to go out of my way to buy him. So I used this 5-man lineup, and so far so good. 27 out of 8,200 projected to get a tier 2 rail. Can't complain here. Um,
That's
Limited
really good.
contender, also pretty decent. Projected to get a limited 2. So far so good. I'm gonna share how it did for me last week. Last week I also got some help from this lineup optimizer. I did awesome. I did 215 in the
Ooh,
limited, scored myself like also a limited 2, and I did amazing in the rare. I did 31 out of 2600, scored myself a tier 2 Jalen Brunson rare reward, which was nice. So
ooh.
yeah, thank you, Bill. I've been just using it for a couple of weeks. It's been a ton of fun. It's been helping me getting some cool rewards. Yeah, and it's just been awesome.
Looking at that limited champion last week, I see Walker Kessler in your lineup, and you were
Yeah,
one of the guys that put that guy on my radar early on. Actually,
I
like what,
did. I
probably
sure did.
over a month ago.
I sure did.
And you were talking about, him. I was like, yeah, I love him, man. And I was like, go for him. And he's got a really volatile game. Volatility is really one of the things that you want to embrace in So Rare. You don't want consistent guys. You want guys that are very volatile.
Exactly. Like Christian Wood, like Anthony Edwards, like Darius
Exactly.
Garland. He can give you 25, 27 points one game. The other week, he can get you a 64.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like
The
Luca can
guy,
get you 38 or 100.
the guy I always say to stay away from is Corey Kispert. Corey Kispert is like one of like the lowest upside guys in the NBA, in my opinion. He always maintains around that like 19 cap or so, 17 cap, and he just doesn't have the upside. His career high so
It's
rare
true.
scores is 37. He's played over 100 NBA games and he's never scored over 37 so rare points in a game. I mean, and he always floats in those high teens, and he gets tons and tons of minutes all the time. So you give him minutes, and it's not like he's going to do any better. I hate Corey Kispert. It's so rare. I love guys like Walker Kessler, like Christian Wood. You mentioned. I love Mitchell Robinson. He's one of my favorite plays.
I see.
He's injured now, of course. A lot of centers and a lot of point guards. I love centers, because they can get big block nights. And I like point guards too.
Speaking of high volatile players, someone that I think is under the radar that I use him a lot for my lineups is Jaden McDaniels.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, not many people. He's under the radar. Not many
Is that
people like.
that's the Timberwolves one, right?
Yeah, like when people think about, coming up with a lineup, not many people would think about Jaden McDaniels first. But I know his price isn't too high. And let me see, should be here soon. I'm gonna show you is like what I want to show you is, did I miss him?
Onyeka Okongwu is a guy I love too.
Oh yeah, Onyeka Congo is
Love
pretty
him.
good too for those purposes. Um, I don't think I missed it. I think it's in my other page. Yeah, there it is. I want to show you his game log. Check it out. So it's good for two reasons. One reason it's good just because it gives you a high score and you can win. The other reason it's
Mm-hmm.
good is because it keeps his cap low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me a 38 last game, so it's actually good for me that he had 14,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's keeping his cap low, and I still got the high score game for him. So you can see here, like he had a couple of games, like a 38, a 37, and at the same time, yeah, he's getting you a bunch of 30s, and when he doesn't get a 30, he gives you like 14, 16. See, he only has one game in 10 games when he had a 20, 24 here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow,
he
you're
either
right.
sucks or he's like 10, 15 points over his cap. So that's why I
So,
like him.
so you stay away from him in the single game weeks, and you always play him when he has two or
Exactly.
three games in a week. Yeah, that's a
Exactly.
smart strategy.
Yeah, so last week the Wolves had 3 games, if I remember correctly.
Uh-huh.
So let me show you. So last week I used him in my limited contender and in my rare contender. I used him in both lineups, and he gave me a 44 here, a 41 here. So yeah, it didn't disappoint me. He had a cap of like 26.
Nice.
So pretty good play, yeah. Yeah, that was
Nice.
awesome. So Billy, let's show the people what we came to talk about more, the optimizer. Maybe you can show how is it going for you this week. Maybe I can let you share screen. You can kind of show us what value plays it shows as of Sunday, although it will be updated tomorrow closer to the games, right?
Yep, yep, for sure. Yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and fire that up.
Yeah, let's show us how your
You want me to
lineups are
just
doing, how the optimizer is doing.
Yeah, I can just show you like how it works and stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is my sheet. Um, things happen really fast with this, to be honest, too. So I am offering this as a paid subscription starting next week. And that all came together really fast. I never really quite dreamed of this until I just started getting flurries of DMs and my Twitter inbox asking if people can buy it off me. I was like, whoa, maybe I should start selling this. And so yeah, it is going to be available for subscription starting next
It's
week.
definitely going to be a positive ROI, I can say. It'll
Oh
definitely,
yeah.
yeah, it'll
I mean, if
definitely
you, I've been keeping record of how I've done ever since I've established the optimizer. So I started, yeah, it was game week 15. I started it, and I've been keeping track of all the rewards I've won. And I've won over $2,000 in So Rare rewards ever since just game week 15, which was what, like 5 weeks ago.
yeah, very nice.
And of course, it's not guaranteed for everybody, but yeah, it's done really well for me. So basically, yeah, I have these kind of two main functions. One function, this is the function I know that you use a lot, Noam, which is the all players list. And this is great. You get a sense of who in the league are really good values and what are, this week. So if you go, for example, and type in 110 into the salary and 5 players, because that's the contender lineup, you can
Right.
click this button right here. It says Run Optimizer, and it'll tell you who the optimal lineup. This puts together the
Interesting.
optimal contender lineup for this week out of all the players in the NBA. So
So
I
this
usually
week,
copy this and paste it right here. Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm gonna
yeah,
paste it in here.
let's see the value plays for this week. Let's see what it shows. Shengun.
So so he has 3 games this upcoming week. And I mean, we've seen he has just really exploded lately. He's been given, minutes, which he wasn't getting consistent minutes early in the season. But a lot of people think he might be the best player on the Rockets, even better than Jalen Green.
I think he has a, I call him baby Jokic potential.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
don't think he's good as Jokic, or I don't think he's
No.
gonna be as good, but he's like a baby poor man Jokic to me. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Cool.
Maybe it's just because they're both white, big, and slow. So, I don't know. And like
Uh,
international, I don't know.
he I almost see a little bit of Domantas Sabonis in his game.
I see.
Not as
Interesting.
strong. Not as strong though. Not quite as strong.
Yeah. Yeah, he's softer for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
I used him this week and he gave me like 60 solo points, which was awesome.
Whew.
I also
Yeah.
see Aiton, which is questionable, so stay tuned on this one. I see
Yeah.
Sohan, which is interesting. I wouldn't think about him. Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith, I guess, is related if Lamelo is out or not. And Sims obviously is a good play.
Yeah, yeah. Aiton, so well, Booker is out, right? Chris Paul's been out, so he's been getting a lot of usage. So that's a nice play if he's playing, of course. Is it Sohan or Sokan? Do you know
I
how
think it's pronounced Sohan.
Sohan? Oh, okay. I've
Jeremy
been saying it wrong
Sohan.
all the time. I have not seen him play a lot actually, so I don't know a lot about his game. But I know statistically, 19's a pretty good cap because he's had a few 40 plus point games. He gets
True, true.
consistent minutes. When if Keldon Johnson or Vassell ever miss time, he gets good usage.
He's
You know,
like
he thir-
he's like a high energy guy. He reminds me in his game like a Draymond Green type of player. Like
okay.
he can't really shoot. He does a lot of defense. He's high energy, lots of rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, everything.
Cool. Yeah, and if you look at his game logs, like he has lots of games in the 30s. So if he can give you 33 so rare points at a cap of 19, that's a great value right there.
It is. So
Um,
let's make a little test run. Let's say that Aiden is questionable and Dennis Smith.
ah,
I'm not sure on him because LaMelo might be back. So let's
oh,
keep them
might he be
out.
back? I thought he was out. Okay. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
we
he
could
might be
see.
out, but it's not sure yet, right?
Right. Okay,
So
yeah.
let's try to see what happens if you take out Dennis Smith and Aiton out of the lineup
Sure. So you can just go down. So the green boxes show which guys got picked. So Aiton got picked. So you can put like an N in this column.
and stands
So
for
for
no,
any,
right?
yeah, exactly. For any guy that you don't want. Uh, and then you can rerun the optimize and it'll exclude those guys.
Okay, awesome. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So now you get, usually what it does is, and this is the case in
Luke
any lineup. You guys
Cornett.
have all seen it. Yeah. Well, you guys have seen anytime you do a lineup, you want to make one change, and usually it's best to rework multiple pieces. You know what I mean? So that's what often happens. It does keep Şengün in here. It keeps Jericho Sims in here, but it actually swapped out. It has swapped out Sohan. It doesn't like him anymore. I mean,
Interesting,
not that it doesn't
interesting.
like him anymore, but it thinks there's a better combination out there. So TJ
Right.
McConnell, oh my goodness, yesterday we had another TJ night last night. Um,
I mean,
Killian
who
Hayes,
knew that TJ is actually triple double Russell Westbrook, you know? Who knew?
incredible.
Yeah,
Not me, not me.
yeah.
And yeah, Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett is going to be an awesome play this game week. Rob Williams, he's going to be out with the hyperextended knee. They've got Celtics have 3 games, including a back-to-back. Al Horford always sits one end of a back-to-back, and that means the Celtics will only have Luke Cornett and Blake Griffin as centers. So Luke Cornett is going to get run in at least one game this game week at a cap of 8. I don't know if he'll put up 21, but man,
I
he's going to get some burn. He's
I
going to put
gotta
up
buy
2x.
myself. I gotta buy myself a Luke Cornett before this video is published.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got a
before the
rare and limited Cornet that I've been holding on to. Just I'm a Celtics fan, so I know, when we have back-to-backs, Horford always sits, and that
true,
always gives Cornet some value. So he's a good guy to hold for the whole season.
true. Anyone else you like on the Celtics? Because I know Smart is out.
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard you talked about as being a good value
Right.
play. So Marcus Smart is actually listed as questionable right now.
Oh, true. I mean,
So he
I
could
saw it.
I
I
would
saw it
think
on
that he would
TV.
miss time.
I saw it on
Yeah.
TV. I would be surprised if he plays.
I would too. I would too. But so my projections don't count him as being out yet because he's technically questionable. So it won't see maybe by tomorrow. They will be updated. And if he's listed as out, that will, influence Peyton Pritchard's stats. So he'll be a
Interesting.
great play then. He's a low cap guy. He'll be a great play.
Do you want to show the MVP option?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So that was for the contender. And then if you hit reset, it clears out all of your locks. And the other thing you can do is if you see a really good guy that you like, so let's say you love Damian Lillard for some reason, right? Like you can hit Y in this column and then make sure he gets locked into the lineup, which is also a really cool feature.
True.
So, all right. So now for champion lineups, we know you have a total cap of 120, and that's split amongst 4 players plus an MVP. So what it does is once you put 4 players in here, it automatically types an MVP into your lineup. And for that, you just want the highest projected player to be your MVP.
Right.
Now, some people think the highest cap, but you don't really want the highest cap because, Anthony Davis has a really high cap, but you wouldn't want him to be your MVP right now. So
Right.
you definitely want the highest projected player over the highest cap player. All right, and then you hit Run Optimizer again, and let's see. I haven't looked at this yet. Oh, we get quite a
My
few of the
first
same
time
players we've
too.
already seen. Because these are high value guys, so they're going to go be high value across any lineup. But Şengün
True.
again,
Man,
Anthony
Ant killed it this
Edwards,
week.
if
He
he can
killed it.
keep it going, and then TJ and Sohan. So
Okay, let's see. I think obviously it's a good play, but I think TJ is very chalky. Let's see what happens if you exclude TJ.
oh yeah, all right. TJ.
I think one of the reasons why Şengün is going off is also because KPJ is out, so he's getting more usage.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Oh,
You'd
Dennis
think
Smith
you'd
and
think we'd get
Aiton.
more. Yeah, Dennis Smith and Aiton.
How about we take those out too, and we'll see
All
what it
right,
says.
let's
I'm
do it.
curious.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's take out Aiton. Let's take Dennis Smith. And I do this all the time. I kind of keep going through iterations. I think you do the same thing.
Yeah, okay,
Um,
interesting.
yeah,
Very interesting.
Yana.
Oh, we got a Giannis in there.
Yeah, huh.
Interesting.
Uh,
Very interesting. Although
okay.
Giannis is questionable as well.
Uh,
Let's try
let's
one last test
let's
on
pull him.
without Giannis.
So you know what's something that happens sometimes in this lineup, and it's not going to happen now, but sometimes when you run it, it'll actually slot the best player into the top 4 spots. So that would be like double using them. So actually, when I do this, I usually pick no for the best player. It'll
Right,
keep him in the MVP, but you don't want him double used. So I
right.
didn't do that, but
Cool.
usually I put a no in there. All right,
Yeah,
so
that's
let's
an
see.
important remark. Yeah,
Okay,
let's
we
check
get
it out.
Trey Jones.
Okay, interesting. I wouldn't think of him. Very interesting. All right, cool, man. So we kind of gave the people a sneak peek on the value plays. Although it is important that we make sure that people know that you usually update it in the day of the games, right?
Oh yeah. I always update it every lock day, and then
So
you get
yeah,
more updated projections, and
right.
sometimes we'll get the injury news once like 2 p.m. Eastern time hits.
So today's
So yeah,
Sunday, Sunday afternoon-ish. Um,
yep.
that's the projections for now, but it could change tomorrow if you're watching
Certainly
this.
will. Yeah,
Mhm,
certainly will.
mhm. Okay,
Cool.
perfect.
So do you want me to show you how I use it? Because I think
Sure,
that's really valuable for users.
sure,
So,
of course.
we've talked before about how, choosing a lineup can be kind of feel very overwhelming and crazy. You're just like picking guys. You don't see projection data in Sorare. You're picking guys. You're trying to make the numbers all add up in your head, and it can be difficult. But so that's why I built this tool to make it so that I can find the optimal lineups, not just from all the players in the NBA, like we've talked about, but for the guys in my collection. And that's the real value, I think, in this tool. So first thing we have to do is I've got this list here, my player list, and this keeps track of my whole collection. Okay, so these are all my common players, all my limited players, and all my rare players. I've got a pretty decent rare collection. I've got a limited collection that's too big. I've been realizing
Holy
lately.
shit.
I have over 130 limited players. I feel like I need
Dude,
to start selling some of these.
I think you should start because more supplies coming out and
You
there's
know,
no reason why anyone would have two Cameron Paynes in his
So
collection.
Cameron Payne is actually the guy. I thought a while ago that like, oh, once Chris Paul gets hurt, he's gonna pop because he's gonna have a low L10 and then he'll start into a
Right.
prominent feature.
It's a
And
good
I just
thought.
really haven't kept track of it. But yeah, I got two Alex Caruso. Sometimes I've also won them in multiple rewards, so that happens. But yeah, I gotta start selling
Yeah,
off some of
definitely
these
make a
limited.
few sales. All right, so show
You
us
get
how it works. So you put your players in here and what happens
Yeah,
then?
and you can do the boosts too. You don't have to. I've just kind of stopped updating them. So let's go to my rare lineup.
Hmm.
And so you see all my players automatically get put in here.
Hmm.
First thing I got to do is I got to sort this sheet. I got to sort it by projections. All right. And then I like my champion lineup today. I usually run my champion first. So it's going to slot
Hmm.
Jason Tatum in as my MVP. He's got
Hmm.
a great projection with 3 games coming
Awesome.
up. And let's see. All right. I have a rare Şengün. Happy about that. I've
Nice.
got rare Porzingis. He's a volatile player too that I really like. Gordon Hayward. I'm gonna have to put some thought into that one.
Mark Williams. Okay, I
And
got him on
Mark
my rare
Williams.
collection.
All right, there you go.
Not
So,
sure how I feel about Gordon Hayward though.
I don't know either, but we'll have to see. I mean, we might get some usage. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste this into here just so I save it. And then yeah, then I can go ahead and run my contender. Now I can't play any of these guys in my contender if I'm playing them in champion. So I'm gonna go mark them as no's
Nice.
here. Oh, I forgot about Tatum too. And then I'll put in my 120 and 5 for champion, run the optimizer. And here is my optimal contender lineup. Yeah, I'm
Oshay
not gonna play
Obaji.
Marcus.
Okay.
I'm not gonna play Marcus Smart though. We saw that ankle injury. I gotta
Yeah,
take him out of here. Where
true,
is
true,
he?
true.
Let me run this again. I mean, even yeah, I don't feel good about that. All right. Miles Turner, he's one of my favorite Sorare players. He's one of those high volatility guys. Sometimes
Oh
he
yeah,
gets you 6 blocks and 10 rebounds and 20 points and he puts up a 60. I
and
love it.
like seven
This
blocks.
see, I excited. This is the kind of lineup I like to put.
It
Miles
looks good.
Turner, high volatility. Anthony Simons, if Damian Lillard ever sits or gets in foul trouble or misses a game, he gets big usage and can go off.
He's been up and down lately, but even with
Mostly
Lillard,
down.
yeah, but even with Lillard, every few games he still can get you a 40 piece in solo.
Yep, yep. Zubats, same thing, very volatile player. Cornette, really liked this game week, and Ochai Agbaji, I like him too. He's put
Yeah,
up a few
nice,
20
man.
plus
I, I
point
love
games.
I love both lineups. Nice.
I know,
Very
I'm kind of
nice.
I like this game week for me.
I like
Yeah.
it, man.
So,
Nice.
and then I just go into So Rare. I just, go into the rare lineups. I can search for these guys. Boom, 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 boom. I know exactly who I'm putting in. Don't have to do any mental math. And, I can set lineups in less than 5 minutes with this tool.
Very nice, man. I love it. I've been using it for the past few weeks. If anyone that's watching right now have some questions, want to test drive it, want to try it for for a week or two or whatever, just shoot Billy a message on Twitter, or what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, Twitter's a good way to reach me.
Let's show your Twitter 1 sec.
At Billy Top Shot.
Right. Okay, we'll stop the share for a second.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. And
No worries.
Top Shot's how I first got to know him through the
Oh
Celtics
yeah,
community
oh
and
yeah.
Top Shot.
Right. So for anyone who's watching and also into Top Shot, I met Billy in the Discord of the Celtics because you're one of the
Yep,
captains, right?
yep.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. We love ourselves some Top Shot as well.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if you want to find Billy, you can just why doesn't oh, I'm already in your okay. Yeah. All right. That didn't happen. So if you want to find Billy, you can just find him on Twitter as Billy Jackson or Billy Top Shot. And yeah, they can just DM you, right? If anyone's
Yep,
interested or want to have any questions.
absolutely.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me as well. If you need any help, if you have any questions. Yeah, we try to provide some content on Twitter. Billy, I know sometimes you post screenshots. I do some threads with my value plays as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was fun to kind of take a sneak peek and also just to see some value plays for this week. I feel like the plays that like the lineups that it shows right now, it's great value if you're trying to kind of assemble your lineup right now.
Yeah, go get yourself some cornet before you post this video.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, not really. It's good hanging out with you as always, man. Love
Yeah,
spending
as
time with
always.
you, chatting hoops.
How's your lineup doing this week?
Oh, terrible. Well,
Really?
you guys kind of see, like, you guys saw my best rare player is Jason Tatum. So I slotted him as my MVP and rare champion, and he put up a 0 for me. So that's gonna sink your champion lineup. I do have a really good limited champion lineup. I got Kyrie, Darius Garland, and somebody else really good, and Luca in there. So that lineup, I'm gonna get at least a limited tier 2 reward, I think, maybe even better. So
Maybe even a rare, possibly.
maybe even a rare. We'll see.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Kyrie's the best play. You got Garland there, Luca there. You should get something decent. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool, Billy. It's been fun hanging out. And what's the next game week? 28? I can't believe it's been 28 weeks also.
Wow, yeah. I
Mhm.
know. Goes it's fun.
All right, thanks a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Good
All
luck
right,
for
sounds
the
good,
next
dude.
game week.
No doubt. You too, and everybody listening.
All right, peace.